A recent article in the Observer, I'll put a link to the article in the description below, says that there's been a recent rise in popularity in afternoon teas in the younger generation, and they believe it's due to social media. I thought this was quite interesting because the origins of afternoon tea, it originated in the 1800s in that era, and it was seen as a kind of filling meal between lunch and dinner. So it's kind of always been seen as a little bit of a stuffy affair. When most people think of afternoon tea, they think of finger sandwiches, scones, and cakes. And as somebody who loves afternoon tea and has a whole playlist dedicated to afternoon tea, I can confirm that the majority of afternoon teas still kind of follow this format. But perhaps thanks to this new interest in afternoon tea, there are afternoon teas now that don't follow that traditional format. You can get afternoon teas that are based on cuisines around the world. I've seen Italian themed afternoon teas, Asian themed afternoon teas. I've even seen afternoon teas. There's one afternoon tea I saw that was an ice cream afternoon tea, where the sweet section, instead of being cakes, is ice cream. And I thought that's really good. I actually want to try that, but maybe when the weather gets a bit warmer. One afternoon tea that I tried that was a non-traditional afternoon tea, probably one of my, I think it's probably the only non-traditional afternoon tea that I've tried so far, was a dim sum one. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. It was an interesting tea, that's all I say. You need to watch the video to find out what I really thought. So if you're somebody who is maybe interested in getting into afternoon tea, or if you're like an afternoon tea expert like I feel I am, there are a few websites you can look to if you want to have a look at afternoon teas in general. Like you want a couple of places to look where you can see a wide variety of afternoon tea. One website that's good is afternoontea.co.uk, and they have afternoon teas where you can search in terms of your budget, in terms of where in the country you want it, because you know London is a city in the UK. There's afternoon teas everywhere. And that's really good. And it shows obviously the traditional afternoon teas and non-traditional afternoon teas. So that's a good website. If you are on a budget, Groupon and Voucher are really good websites as well. I did do an afternoon tea, I think it was on Groupon. Again, I'll put a link in the description below of that review. So they have some good deals on afternoon teas as well. I think with any kind of trend or anything that's going on, you know, the world is changing so much. So for you to kind of stay relevant, you have to be evolving. So I like the fact that with afternoon teas that the younger generation are discovering it and liking it. And I like the fact also that there are different types of afternoon tea now. It's not just a traditional format. There's another afternoon tea I forgot to mention that I'm hoping to try in the next couple of weeks. It's a fish and chip afternoon tea. And so obviously instead of sandwiches, you have fish and chips and mushy peas. I don't like mushy peas though, but I might try it in this afternoon tea. So that's another one I want to try. So as you can see, I'm a big fan of afternoon tea, and it's weird because I only started really getting into afternoon tea maybe about a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, I have had afternoon tea once years ago. I think, was it at I can't remember where it was, like about 15, 20 years ago. That was the last time before my recent sort of resurgence into it. But I just love it now. I'm really intrigued. There's so many afternoon teas that I want to try, but I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to try all of them. But I love the fact there's so much variety. So, are you an afternoon tea? Are you an afternoon tea fan? Let me know in the comments whether you like it or not, because I think there's still some people who see it as quite stuffy and formal. And yes, that aspect of afternoon tea does still exist, but there's a lot more informal afternoon teas that you can try if you're not into that whole kind of stuffy formal atmosphere. Until next time, cake lovers.